President Bukele's approval rating now is hit 93%. Basically, the only people that are not happy with him are the essentially the main beneficiaries of the two old political parties, which is basically like Democrats and the Republicans, two oligarchies that control all of the institutions of the country and fight a civil war amongst themselves, sometimes with bullets and sometimes with votes and sometimes with rigged elections and with all kinds of nasty things. But now it's astonishing. I mean, just imagine a third-party candidate in the U.S. running and, first of all, winning the election. He runs for election, doesn't even go and attend the TV debates with the Republican and Democratic candidates. So just imagine a third-party candidate says, no, screw you. I'm not joining Biden and Trump or DeSantis or whatever in your debates. I'm not doing any of that stuff. And then he wins the election. And then the next year you have congressional elections. And then a new party that he establishes sweeps the electoral system, and then they take over the political system. And then the Republicans and the Democrats are reduced to essentially 20 or 30% of Congress. And everybody hates them. Nobody wants them anymore. It's just basically the establishment of the Democratic and Republican Party that are still clinging on to their old world. And, they're just... and it's so transparently self-serving because, if you had a shred of honesty, you'd have to admit that, yeah, this guy's done a much better job than we ever could. So it's truly exciting what's going on there. And I think the best is yet to come. I think the president is likely to win re-election. And I think, Bitcoin is likely to do its thing. And we're going to get... the price of Bitcoin going up is going to be massively positive for people in El Salvador because a lot of them have some Bitcoin. And I think, but what's more important, this pisses off some Bitcoiners sometimes when I say it, but really the most important thing is how much Bitcoin we have in cash balances. And in the case of El Salvador, the most important thing is how much the government has, because if the government can stack sats and the sats can go up in value and they keep adding, they keep stacking sats, so the number of sats that they have goes up, and then, the price of the sats in dollar terms goes up, then the government is witnessing its cash balance appreciate, which, I mean, this might sound like it's an inconsequential detail for people, but for me, this is as important as it gets, because now you don't need to go to the capital markets, you don't need to go to the IMF, you don't need to go to the World Bank to continue to borrow in order to pay your bills. And that's essentially the way that this criminal system functions, which is you need to get everybody in debt all the time so that they're constantly borrowing so that they become completely subservient to the interests of the money printer that keeps them alive. And the secret ingredient for that is the fact that the dollar is constantly appreciating. So you need to have a cash balance. Citizens need a cash balance. Financial institutions, banks, and businesses, they all need to have their own cash balance, and the government needs a cash balance, and the central bank has a cash balance. So everybody's holding on to cash. And in the case of El Salvador, that's all dollars. And in the case of the rest of the world, it's also predominantly dollars. Almost everybody's cash balances are in dollars or in currencies that are backed by the dollar. So you're holding some national shitcoin, but what's backing that shitcoin is that the central bank has a big bunch of dollars in reserve. So what's happening as the dollar gets devalued? Your holdings are getting devalued. So the things that you need to buy are going up in price. So how can you keep up? How can you buy more of the things that you need? The answer is get into debt. That's how it works. So, and also, and that's what I explained in the fiat standard, that the fiat standard just requires you to borrow in order to survive, no matter what your views are about debt. Even Muslims who it's very clear for them that interest lending is haram, it's forbidden in Islam. Most religious scholars in Islam today say that this is okay, that you have to do it, that it's fine, because, and I don't want to get into theology now, whether you agree or disagree, whether this is okay or not, but you can sort of see the point, because if you're not doing it in a world in which everybody's using this, if in a world in which everybody is using fiat money, if you decide that I'm not going to borrow, then you are the bag holder. You're holding on to the cash. The cash is getting devalued, and you are constantly getting robbed. But when you borrow, and that's the key, one of the key concepts in the fiat standard, when you're borrowing, new money is created every time you take out a loan. So effectively, you're benefiting to some extent from the inflation. When you have a negative fiat balance over time, that fiat is devalued. So the inflation works in your favor up to a point. And so it's much better to be on the borrowing side. So there's no way out of this, honestly, except Bitcoin. Orange coin is the only thing that fixes this.